Two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
I love Butte because Butte's a Montana town.
Okay.
But gentrification hasn't hit it yet. It's like their downtown looks like fucking Beirut. Just giant abandoned fucking silver smelting refineries. It's like
Amazing.
They can make a RoboCop sequel in this building.
I like that. They haven't turned those like the old phosphorus factory into a trendy apartment yet.
They're still
not breweries yet.
There's still a working asbestos factory.
Yeah, exactly. Dude.
They're sending it to North Korea.
Yeah,
holy fuck! What a thing to do to your community.
Yeah. I love that about these like luxury apartments. It's like, where do you live? Oh, in an old tungsten plant. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's so ridiculous.
It was pre-COVID, but so I don't know who it was that booked like a showcase in the cities. And it was dope because it was in an old coffin factory.
Oh,
and
seriously?
That's pretty metal.
It fucking and like so much of the giant old like machine pieces were there and shit. Like, but it's like an artist's colony kind of, which is also it was like
that's still cool.
Just walk around and look like, and nothing made sense. The fucking thing was a labyrinth. You're fucking okay. I guess I got to go down this tunnel. Like, lay down. How do I get the fuck down there? Like,
they hand you spelunking gear on the way in. You're confused. This harness is not going to fit. Do you have 4 other harnesses I can daisy chain this?
It's like the Ninja Warrior final course. There's a peg wall. I'm gonna need a lot of pegs.
I'm looking down, guys. I'm not seeing a lot of padding.
It's just a perpetually running coffin grinder.
Yeah, it's like the pit stage from Mortal Kombat 1.
Makes the old coffins into matchsticks. Good.
Beautiful. Environmentally good.
It's very green.
It is, man. It's very downtown. Downtown Minneapolis of that.
Yeah, use every piece of the coffin buffalo.
Yeah.
All those protests about all the waste in the coffin industry. The fucking coffin industry itself is a waste. Why are we still doing that? Throw you in the trash.
It's got to be happening way less, though, right? I'm thinking about that. Like, I feel like people just like hardly ever get buried anymore.
Yeah. I think it's a generational thing.
Yeah.
I think we are a cremation generation.
Yeah, for sure, and we should be.
That's a pretty decent punk album title.
Cremation generation.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I like it.
Do you think you could change the lyrics to Youth of a Nation by POD to be Creation Generation?
Yeah, it's a little...
That's where your fucking funeral home ad.
Cremation Nation, we are.
Cremation Nation.
Just a children's choir.
Yeah. Or like 3 uncomfortable middle-aged men in suits singing it. Come to Anderson and Brothers. We are.
Dude, they're like the worst.
Generation.
Yeah. They have the same enthusiasm as like a Red Hawks player who does a commercial. And it's like, Jesus, has he had 0 training? Like, is no one coaching him while they're doing it at least?
Or like those Carson Wentz bank commercials.
Oh,
back
God.
home.
Excruciating. Excruciating.
I think it's not like for a product, but it's just for Twins baseball. They do those get-to-know-them things where they're just throwing rapid-fire questions at a 20-year-old Dominican kid whose English is his 7th language. What's your favorite Spider-Man character? They're stammering the whole time. Like, what's your favorite music artist? I'm going to name some reggaeton artist you've never fucking heard of. You're not making this kid more relatable to the hayseed that's listening to this.
It's like, oh, Bad Bunny? Yeah, me too.
I was about to say Bad Bunny.
Move it along. Just say Bad Bunny. And
Bad Bunny could be a brutal dictator of the entire Caribbean part of the map if he wanted to be.
Yeah.
What I love is how many of the Latin players' walk-up music is like traditional, like acoustic string, whatever the name of that genre is.
Like mariachi.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, like Tejano. Like,
that's cool.
Oh man, God, was it a decade? No, can't be. 5 to 7 years ago, the Oakland A's had a guy whose walk-up music was the sax from fucking Careless Whisper.
Oh, that's
nice.
We're on watching the guys in his bullpen just get into it, like getting up and like dancing seductively, and it's like a 11-2 blowout. No one's there. It's Oakland. No one was ever there. You know, like you make your own fun if you're an athletic.
Yeah.
I think a great one would be I can't remember the name of it, like the Chris Isaac song. I just wanna fall in love. I think that'd be a great walk.
Wicked
song.
Game.
Yeah, Wicked Game. Yeah.
Just him hitting that. Oh, never fall in love.
Dude, how good would that be, dude?
Well, I know that guy doing that sax line had to be 6-7 years ago, because any comedy contest you get playing music, I stole that from that.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I either use that if I'm ever asked, which is rare. It's either that or Reba McEntire's Fancy. I think that's a good walk-in.
I've seen you take the stage to Fancy.
Is that the one about the prostitute?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The mom turning out her,
the mom,
daughter.
grooming her teenage daughter.
Right, yes.
Fuck middle-aged businessmen for money.
How is that not a Tracy Chapman song? How is that Reba?
If it was Tracy
no
Chapman,
sense.
it would end with the mom drowning the daughter.
Yeah, that's
In
the
a
real
pool
truth.
full of strangers come.
What a way to go.
And the mess she created.
That's the real truth. It's not sad enough to be a Tracy Chapman song.
Exactly.
Because it's kind of like that woman is defiantly proud of being a
it's
high-end
empowering.
whore.
Yeah.
This song about turning out your daughter just isn't sad enough. You're gonna have to do a rewrite on this
Gotta
thing.
amp this up a
Punch
little
it up a little. Yeah.
Live in a dirt floor shack.
Yeah.
Sick of all these joyous child grooming songs.
Right.
Make them a little more
Why
dour.
can't we bring it down a little?
I'm really glad you had beers.
Oh yeah.
I hit the exit right by the hotel here, and I was
Yeah.
like, and I searched in liquor stores, like, oh fuck, I have to get back on the fucking not interstate, but the highway to get to one. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is a travesty.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes down the
then,
road.
And then I don't know. I hope this won't be a problem for you, but I stole this LaCroix from the market pantry down there. You're supposed to pay for it, but you know,
that's fine.
the Venezuelan woman working the fucking desk wasn't there, and I was gonna go seek her out. You know,
Maybe I get a LaCroix tacked onto my room charge.
You may.
That's fine.
If they're down there when I leave, I might be like, hey, I did this,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
It's done.
I stayed in a nightmare hotel once, and I was fucking starving, but just the whole time knew, okay, I saw that there was a snack machine when I checked in. I don't want to eat Cheetos for a meal, but you do what you got to do some nights. You know?
Sure do.
I got there. The machine was so fundamentally broken that it opened like a door. The whole front, like I could have climbed in and been for sale behind the glass. So I'm like, what the fuck? I can't even there's no power. There's nothing like, I just fucking blown it up. And I got a knock on the door from a woman the size of one of my legs. Like, sir, did you take all the chips? I'm sorry. I mean, and I did do the math in my head to know how much I owed them.
Right.
It was like, I can make it right with it. Here's your $8.50 or whatever it came. Did you take all the chips? Makes you feel like a real fat ass.
Yeah, no kidding.
There were only 3 little bags.
Listen, lady, don't make it sound like there was 40 of them.
I didn't eat 7 different flavors of Doritos, 8 fucking rows deep, you know?
You had your
I can't do such cheap math. 42 bags in those meals. So many chips.
you were just mix up your own Munchies concoction in the fucking basin of your sink.
Holy shit.
Doing work.
Yeah. Using that little complimentary coffee pot to fucking make a little mixing agent. Just gonna keep me up all night. Crushing no-dos into it.
Just a little trucker speed. Just a little bit.
Making fucking trail mix in the sink.
I like the idea that it has a liquid base, so it's like a fucking paste.
I shouldn't have put so much chewing gum in here.
You're serving it with a concrete trowel. This is gonna form up real nice. Like I'm making hardtack. Gotta drive to this guy ahead of him.
This is gonna make for a nightmare dump tomorrow. This is thick. Oh shit!
Like a good old dense daddy to wake you up in the morning.
Yeah, really.
Take a huge constipation shit. Well, there's almost an armed robbery just happened.
That would be great. Yeah. We'll catch that live on the podcast.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be good.
Moly.
That would be good. As long as one of us is alive to tell the tale.
Right.
Because you can do a whole podcast series about that.
Who's going to do a solid and offer their body to the burglar?
Starts as a fun comedy podcast with pals, and then it turns into a serial sequel.
It turns into you guys using your might against me and forcing into the guy's arms. Take him. Take the little one.
You look pretty for him.
Like, it sucks, dude. Why did I
Get your
agree?
hair in uneven pigtails.
I'm never meeting up with two fellas at a Holiday Inn Express ever again. Fool me once, fuckers.
Lesson learned.
For free Miller Lite.
Yeah. It's like, why was this already cracked when I got it?
I bet there are many unmarked grave is filled with a teenager that went to the hotel of an older man that offered free beer. That's right.
Spooky stuff.
Yeah, right. How little it takes to lure a teenager to their doom. Yeah. Like, if I sat and thought about.
Sounds like you have.
Yeah. Like, no, I was just trying to think where the line would be if I was 16 and needed beer.
Oh,
the
sure.
risks I would have, nightmare
dude,
people.
Of course.
I fucking bought beer from nightmare people all the time, you know? Like what does it matter if I don't know them? You know, you can tell someone's sketchy. Like,
dude, when I was probably 15 or 16, I met up with a guy in the McDonald's parking lot on Main Avenue in West Fargo to buy ecstasy multiple times. I also wired money to a Jamestown Walmart and then drove to Jamestown and bought fake cocaine when I was like 17 years old. So, I mean, that's the desperation knows no bounds, you know? Like,
what?
really.
You take risks, you know?
Yes, of course.
what does fake cocaine consist of?
I mean, it's essentially if you put water in it, it would like just make like a cookie dough. You know what I mean? It's like it's got like baking soda and flour and sugar. You know.
Oh, you mean so like
it would
it
make
was
a fine sugar cookie. You know.
like it was completely a scam. You mean?
Oh yeah, I mean.
like,
but you know, like we wired money to Walmart and like crazy, and then drove. We lived like I don't know, like 70 miles from Jamestown or something.
Yeah.
And so we just drove, got it, went back, and then just like did it off my high school diploma. So I guess I must have been 18. Must have been like the summer going to college because we did it off the diploma. But yeah, it was just like nothing. We're just like, fuck, dude, this is not cocaine.
These would have been nice cookies.
Nah, people. If people know that you're like a teenager too and you don't know anybody, they'll fucking really exploit you. People would steal so much weed from me when I was like 14 and 15, like when I first started buying weed.
Yeah.
Like for sure. I remember thinking back to those bags I would get being like, dude, I'm getting like half the weed I paid for on average. They would fuck me over so hard. Some would be my friends. My friends would even do it like, fuck this guy.
But you didn't know.
Yeah, because I was making $5.15 an hour at Subway and I could afford a dub every now and then. Those fucking motherfuckers.
I was leaving a bonfire party in high school, and this lunatic that I hung out with, I saw him like we were running to the pickup. I think the cops were maybe going to be rumors they were coming, and he was down kneeling. It was at a state park. He was like kneeling and like grabbing like a handful of like mulch and twigs and shit. Like, what are you doing? He's like, don't worry about it, just get in the vehicle. He throws it in a Ziploc, rolls it up. Hands it to some kids from Minot. They hand him $60, and we fucking take off. Like,
amazing.
There were 4 of them, and they were fucking. 2 of them could have kicked our asses easy. I saw their brake lights light up, like you fucking drive as fast as you can. And they tried, but they never got us.
Not gonna catch the Midnight Rider.
I just picture a kid pulling a big rock, like or a bottle cap.
Is this a pine cone?
Oh, fuck, dude.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
He was the guy that did a bunch of acid while driving home. And like, drunk, I'm sure. And his mom found him in the driveway, like 50 feet down the driveway. You know, you got a long farm
Sure.
driveway.
Yeah.
she pulled. He was leaving for church, and he's all terrified looking. He's like, I had to try to act cool. He's like, I don't know what happened, man, but I was convinced my house was going to eat me, so I didn't dare get any closer.
Dude.
He's just trying to act casual to his mom. Like, I don't think I'm going to go to church.
Oh, dude. I had a rule growing up where, like, especially when I was like 17, 18, my parents got to a point where like, look, we can't contain you. Like, we'll ground you, but you're just going to keep doing it.
Sure.
And then you'll just drop out of high school. So they didn't want to ruin my life. So I was like, but they're like, okay, but when you come home, whenever that is, you have to come upstairs and like say hi so we know you're here.
Oh, yeah.
So there were so many times I make that fucking trip up the flight of stairs, just tripping my balls up, just saying goodnight to my mom quick from the fucking crack in the door, you know?
As you watch the wallpaper slide across the wall.
Yeah, and then go to my room, throw weed
muscle.
on, and just melt into my fucking mattress for the rest of the night. Dude, so scary.
Has our family dog always been Kirby?
It's just swallowing things around the house
and turning into them.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's fucking... Talking to your parents when you're on drugs is a real fucking bummer. It's not cool.
The funny thing is, the one thing about most drugs, you can't smell them. Booze is the one that betrays you the most.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
talking like, you could be on fucking angel dust. As long as there's 12 feet away and they can't see your eyes.
Right.
But like, you can smell beer on someone if you're not drinking. Like,
Oh, yeah,
like,
immediately.
I think about being a little kid before I was drinking age. If some like a adult got in the car, you could tell immediately that they smelled like
Yeah,
beer.
they got it.
Like, yeah.
We always thought we got away with shit, and we for sure didn't. Like, I'm sure if you could think of anything where you're like, oh, I really fucking pulled one over on dad that night. No, you fucking didn't. Your dad knew.
Yeah. I never had to check it with my folks.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think my mom just went to bed so early she would have wanted to get
Sure.
fucked with.
Oh,
like,
sure.
Not woken up, you know? Like, thinking back, like, I've always had a midnight curfew. I just never followed it. And, like, there was every once in a while be like, oh, things are going to change in this house. You're going to start coming home. Like, you're only going to go out one night a week. Like, yep, sounds good. And I just
got it.
would never do it. I always think the house of cards would have fallen if I ever would have gotten big legal trouble.
Oh, sure.
Or not even big, just like
Well, yeah.
got your name in the paper, you know,
Yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of thing, you know, like, but never, God damn it, knock on fucking whatever this
See,
couch
I
is
was
made out of.
constantly in trouble, so I don't even necessarily blame them. You know?
Yeah.
But then, like when you're already someone who just does fucked up shit all the time, and then people try to like get in your way of doing that, you just like go harder, you know?
Right.
When you're a teenager.
You just rebel even harder.
But yeah, so they were just at a loss. There's nothing they could do.
They said, we don't know.
I had multiple escape routes out of my house, like different windows. Like if I was upstairs, there was a window I get down. And I knew a way to like climb down from the roof of our
Oh, no
house.
shit.
And, like,
Jeez.
and then eventually I just had this room right in the front of the house on the ground level, and I would just like kind of like sidle my way out of that. You know what I mean? And fucking be out and.
You were like an 80s troubled teen, like from like
For real, I know,
like an
man.
after school special.
I
you
know.
Yeah, like,
I know, man. I was a throwback, you know. It's fucking.
A classic.
Yeah, these
An
fucking
classic for a
not
reason.
like these fucking pussies these days, respecting their elders and whatnot. God damn it!
It's I'd love to know, like, from maybe like a teacher or a cop, has like teenage drinking and hell raising went down.
I feel like it has to have.
Had to have, right?
Like by a lot, it seems like.
I know a buddy of mine has like a stepson that's like 16, 17, and he's home every Friday or Saturday night. Maybe the occasional, a bunch of them go to the movies. He's like, he doesn't go. It's like, well, is he like kind of a dork? He's like, that's what I thought. But it's like, nope. They just hang out at home and talk online because you don't need to
Right.
go somewhere to bullshit anymore.
You don't have to meet up.
Yeah, you can just have a fucking big Facebook group thing or a fucking Zoom going, you know, and you're all gaming with a Zoom camera.
Sure.
Or think like, I'm old enough when I was a teenager, no one had cell phones. Like, just fucking pull into a parking lot and flash your lights at people to get them to pull in, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what a weird, like, sounds like I grew up in the fucking 40s.
It sure does.
When I was in high school, that's all you did was drive around town, and like you got to the point you recognized people's headlights.
Yeah,
like, oh, I guess Brittany's out. She's the one with fog lights. So
Yeah,
she's always got them on for no reason.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful, dude.
let's pull up here and talk out our windows to Brittany for 40 minutes, block the street. Ain't nobody coming down.
Yeah. See, I was on the cusp because I feel like probably smartphones would have been like, if you had a smartphone like my senior year, you would have like the first like smartphones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we could communicate with each other for sure, but it wasn't like people were so fucking sucked in yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was still some kind of old school shit like that.
Yeah.
You know? You still just meet up at the courts. Like everyone's like, yeah, well, just go up there. Everyone calls. Like that's where everyone hangs. Like,
Right.
There's still a spot, you know?
Yeah.
And there didn't need to be any communication about that. Whereas now I'm sure it doesn't really operate like that anymore because why would you roll the dice? You can just choose who you want to be with at all times.
Right.
You know?
You don't have to just go out and see
Right.
who's out. You know?
That would happen where you'd flash the wrong headlights. Like, oh shit, I don't want to talk to that fucking ortho.
You get molested.
That's the guy that tried to sell me cookie dough for coke that time.
The beat up Datsun comes in. Your asshole puckers up.
The nerve of me thinking I was ever too cool to talk to anyone. Good God. That kid's probably a doctor now.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, dude. You should be friends with everybody. Man.
You spend 45 minutes in that parking lot just bullshitting with the school janitor.
We had one cool janitor.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
God, all ours seem so weird.
I think that comes with the territory.
Yeah, man.
Like,
I was always like, they don't usually be like a student's like dad or like grandpa or grandma or something.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but why did this happen?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what fucked up shit did they do where this is now their lot in life? Because it had to have been something, you know? Like,
yeah.
My grandpa was a longtime high school janitor, so it was funny. Like, so his his just common speech had far too many like young person things in it.
Oh, because he was around it all the time.
Yeah, like my grandpa, everything sucked to my grandpa. Ah, this sucks.
that's pretty cool for a grandpa to say, though.
Your grandpa unwrapping a Werther's original, being like, "This is rad."
Shit rips, dude. You tried these fuckers? They rip, Nathan. He's just 10 times cooler than you.
He's bummed when he flashes his headlights. It turns out to be you.
He's on 4chan. He's like, Nathan.
I don't know if these butterscotch discs are on fleek, Grandpa. I'm not sure if I know what that means.
Yeah, the Pepe the Frog tattoo.
We get out of here. I got a Twitch stream I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder how many Korean war vets have Pepe the Frog tattoos. That can't be a big number.
Man, I want to get them all in a room and really hear their thoughts, though. God
boy.
damn, dude.
Yeah.
They really let it fly.
Yeah, there's spice. There's spice in that cake.
Oh, beautiful. Is there more like? Can I have another one?
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. I've tanked many episodes of my own podcast. I mean, just like, if anyone goes back, if that ever is a thing that's going to matter for me
Right.
in comedy, like if they go back, it's like,
Done.
I won't have a second of fame. Like, it will take no time at all. And it's just like, sometimes it's Alan just staring across the table at me being like, why are you doing this?
Why would you say
Sometimes
this?
he does. Sometimes he's like, why is this happening?
It's like, why did you drive across the city to come do a podcast?
If this
I'm
is
making
what
like
you were
do
going
a
to
Chinese character badly, by the way. I can't even do it well. It's a mashup of just every ethnicity, you know. It's not even good. It's not even well done. It's not clever. It's just blatant.
Well, on that note, you should plug your podcast.
Oh yeah. So if you guys love this podcast, which you guys do, the Going Hard podcast is my podcast.
Absolutely.
And it's basically what this podcast has evolved into is what we've been doing the entire time, which is just coming in blindly
and just shooting the
and
shit.
just shooting the shit. It's with my best friend Alan and my other best friend Petey. And I stand by it.
I've listened to plenty of the Going Hard podcast.
It's a fine product.
It is.
It's a fine product.
Have you ever had a podcast episode where you decide which of those two is your true best friend?
Oh yeah, the other day I started the podcast. I'm like, oh, across. So I always we have these like we have this like really like what do you say, like shticky kind of things we do.
Yeah.
Where we kind of like come in and out in the podcast the same way, and we just have little like things that if we had an audience they would maybe like.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'd like be on a T-shirt or something. You know what I mean? Like we do like the little kitschy things like that. So I started the podcast always being like, hey, the Cross Deals with me is my my podcast. So one day I was like, my very, very good friend Alan Wagner, and he's like, oh, thanks, man. I was like, and then producing podcast, my best friend Dee. Alan's like, oh, that was a compliment for a second, and then
Good for a moment.
now I'm having like a friendship existential crisis.
That's good.
I was like, what do you think of that fucker, huh? You ready to podcast for 55 minutes with me now? Inferior friend.
Oh, God.
The podcast really is me just trying to just drag Alan into the deepest waters possible. And just seeing.
And just drown him.
Yes. Just getting him to the point of exasperation. It's how I've treated every girlfriend in my life as well.
How much will you tolerate?
Just how much can I stretch the rubber band before it snaps? You know? As it turns out, they all snap eventually.
Everyone snaps.
Yeah, there's like, how was I possibly? I would like to interview some of those ladies now.
There's something to do on your fucking podcast.
Holy shit.
All these relationships have ended so badly that we don't talk. But if I could just somehow remedy it just for a few moments.
Yep.
Just to be like, so what did you think? And then I think the moment of real self-reflection I would have. I think I would be a different person quickly.
Just in the midst of all your weeks of podcasts, if there were like 2 in the middle that were just these devastating emotional deep dives, like where there's not one laugh.
I don't even crack a single yuck. It's just true self-reflection.
Yeah, like you don't even sound like yourself. You're just so shook. Like
I'm just like, maybe I am gay. Just question everything.
Why do I hurt people?
Is it because I want to hurt myself?
it's like hard to listen to. There's so much crying. Like,
it's just devastating.
And then your music kicks in at the end.
Exactly. It's like, well, Alan, we should make a song now. Alan's just crying with his baby in his arms. The baby sheds its first tears.
I don't think I want to do this anymore, man.
Alan kills himself.
Oh, I'm going to leave that in for
That's
sure. That's going to be a tough episode.
It's gonna be, but
It's going to get flagged.
But it's gonna make YouTube might take issue. But
Have you made any more headway with that insurrectionist we met at the comedy show?
Tuna Can Dan?
Yeah.
Have I made headway with Tuna Can Dan? Here's the deal. I'm kind of lying. This is another thing I'm lying about to the podcast. Because I told Adam, like, yeah, Insurrection is coming on. I haven't actually spoken to him since.
Yeah.
I do have his number, though. So did I tell you I met an insurrectionist? No. Okay.
That was an amazing night.
So by far, and as you guys have recapped of all these shows on the road you do with Nathan, I've been along for like literally the fucking worst of them, like all of them. So by far the best thing that's ever happened, trumping any set by far, was that we did this show in Iowa, and after the fact, just one guy came up to us. Really, the whole show was like, "Oh, he's like, I like you guys, you fucking stupid yokels or whatever." I was like, "Oh, cool, man." Somebody started drinking with him. I was like, "Oh, the guy who shits on his own hometown, I like that." You know, interesting. Yeah. So we had this long conversation. We talked for like 30 minutes, and then his girlfriend's like, "Oh yeah, I had to pick him up from jail the other day, or whatever." And I was just laughing. We'd been talking about drugs. So I was like, "Oh, what are you in there for? Like marijuana or something?" And she's like, "No, the insurrection." And I start laughing because I'm like, "Of course, that's a hilarious thing to say.
That's a great joke.
It's so funny to say that you were in the insurrection." And then she's like, and he's like, "No, seriously." He's like, "You can look me up." He's like, "Baby, pull up the article." And they pull up the article of him and his dad getting arrested for
with your dad.
and like the grainy footage of them at the insurrection, you know, the still frame.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Are you fucking?" And I could not have been happier. I was like, did I just meet an insurrectionist?
I walked in late, so I just was coming in as that was getting dropped. The scream of laughter and joy that came out of Josh was like the scream a little kid lets out when he gets a Nintendo for Christmas.
I mean,
and the best was Joe, who was on the podcast last week, was not nearly as impressed as Josh. He looked very nonplussed.
He didn't find that as entertaining as I did.
The joy that was rolling out of you. Oh my
man, God. It was great. But then I talked to him about it. And basically, like, I don't even know if he's that bad of a guy, really. Like, it sounds like his dad was kind of the guy.
Okay.
So, like, it sounds like basically they were, like, having, like, fucking Thanksgiving dinner or whatever. And he's like, I'm going to the Capitol. Who's coming with me? And no one said. He's like, well, I I can't let my dad go to the Capitol by himself, so I'll go along.
It's like a fishing trip.
Exactly. They fold up their waders and they head to the creek.
To catch Nancy Pelosi.
They headed to the swamp, more like. So yeah, and then I found out that his nickname, he had 2 nicknames in high school. This guy he's a real gem.
Okay.
So one of them was Tuna Can Dan. Can you assume why?
Is it penile related? Yeah, I thought it might be.
He has a chode, I guess.
Yep, a short but wide.
Yes,
Yep.
and then is also PT was his other one.
What's that?
Pepperoni tits.
Oh yeah.
So I just know all about this guy's body.
He showed his nips.
He show him?
Yeah, I walked in on him showing his nips.
Oh man, I must have missed that, either that or I blocked it out. But
You were wiping tears of joy out of your eyes.
So immediately I'm like, you're on my podcast. Like that was immediately where it went. I'm like, this happens as soon as possible. Unfortunately, he's not on like house arrest, but he's on like he can't leave the state.
Oh sure, like a probation thing.
Yeah, I can't remember how long it's gonna be. I'll have to hit him up soon. Mostly, the big idea for me was like, first I want to like do a whole podcast. I want like him to be my co-host. I want to fucking kick my buddies to the side. Just fucking lean in, dude. Dude, a podcast is called Insurrectionists. I mean, how good,
amazing.
dude.
Perfect.
But what I really want to do more than anything is just not even tell Alan and PD, the 2 guys I do my podcast with, and just have an insurrectionist in his home with his infant son. And just halfway, just like to be like, oh, it's my friend Dan, and then halfway through, like, give 10 minutes into the introduction, like, and then be like, so when you got arrested for the insurrection, just to see the white come over his face, But I've told them now, so now I just use it as a threat, where I'm like, hey, any day now, Tuna Can Dan's gonna roll down those stairs, and once the red light comes on, God knows it's gonna happen.
Oh Christ.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. But yeah, I like tell Alan. I lie to him. I'm like, oh yeah, me and Dan do best buds, man. Me and Tuna Can, we go way back. Like I act like he's like my new best friend, But I haven't really talked to him. But I have his phone number, so provided he's kept it on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
I look forward to that episode.
Boy,
holy shit.
When that episode happens, you'll know about it.
Yeah.
I'll make sure. I'll spend millions of dollars in advertising to make sure everyone knows about that. That's our one shot.
Yeah.
That's our one shot to finally get these radical right wingers have been trying to appeal to for fucking 2.5 years. It's like I can't say anything more heinously racist. No one cares. It's time to get an insurrectionist on.
What's it gonna take?
Pulling out all the stops.
What's it gonna take to get some Breitbart money in here?
God damn, man. Or at least get on like fucking Anthony Cumia's network or something.
Sure, yeah.
I'll settle.
Yeah.
I'll be on Compound Media.
There you go.
I'll take it. I'll settle.
I look forward to your interview on OAN.
Boy, how good would that be? just the first like open insurrectionist sympathizer, like.
Getting back to the comedy shows, we were talking about this. It's baffling. Your batting average on these you fucking are.
My expectations couldn't be.
Yeah, it's just
they actually couldn't be.
Like you're the Grim Reaper. Like if you, it's insane. It doesn't make mathematically. It makes no
it's
sense.
Fucking brutal every time.
Over 6 years span. How not one? Have you ever been on one that you were like, that was fucking good? Like,
dude, I think. So the first Botno one was like so incredibly hot from the start. Like even my shitty host set back in those days like did good. Which, by the way, me having bad sets at those periods of like totally reasonable anyway.
Sure, totally. Yeah.
For some of it,
we were all young. We should have been having bad sets.
Right. But then like Sedan literally might have been like might have been the best show outside of that first Botno one.
Yep, Sedan was, and that was very good.
Yeah.
You were on the good Sedan one.
Well, I heard you had a nightmare there. I was like, how, dude? It was so fucking good.
Terrible.
They had a nice little like setup for it. I mean,
not that night. I mean, like the setup was fine. The setup wasn't the problem.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. And then like a few like just like kind of good ones outside of that, but like I can definitely confidently say I've never fucking crushed a single time. Not that I just like crushed like even 80% of the or some crazy amount, but still you would think
The fact that
he's like 1 in like 20. I cried.
So in the last 6 years, you've been on one that was good. I would say it's exclude the Botno one since that was the first one.
Right.
The more of these shows we do, the lower our bar for acceptability gets.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That Chafee show goes pretty high.
Holy shit, that was amazing.
Look, I did myself no favors there.
Yeah.
To be fair,
if you wrote a book, it could be called "I Did Myself No Favors."
I've done myself no favors.
The endless.
As a man on death row. I know I'm going to be injected tomorrow, but to be fair, I've done myself no favors.
Yeah. Flip it.
In my head, every time I think back to that Chafee show, the lights get brighter every time.
Yeah.
Like in my head, walking in there, like you had to like cover your eyes. It was so bright till they got adjusted. It was
your nostalgia has painted it to where it's like a hospital.
Yeah. That. Oh my God, hospital's the perfect. Like you can see through these old women's skin.
Oh yeah.
Like, when you were 2/3 of the way through your set and took your phone out and just went, "Oh my God, you guys, Joe Biden died," and got no reaction.
Just like a couple exacerbated groans.
Just like, oh.
Isn't that the best thing that can happen?
Yeah.
Like no cheers, no booze,
and then you're like, wouldn't it be fucked up if that's how you found out? Which they should at least acknowledge that would be
be crazy.
Would that not be funny?
Yeah.
If halfway through me bombing through a 20-minute set or whatever, 3/4 way.
Like, that is a good joke.
Where were you when you found out Joe Biden died? Oh, Josh Dullea was hammered on stage in Chafee, and he stumbled through a sentence
in this temple of light.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, in the Menards chandelier section. God damn.
Everyone is within 3 inches of each other. They were fucking so packed in there too. Like,
hated every minute of it.
Even my friends that were there didn't like me. I was like, "Come on, fellas!" Like,
thought we were boys.
God damn, man. I mean, look, I got really drunk that day, and I was really drunk on stage. And once you start bombing when you're drunk, it's real hard to turn it around. You know.
Weren't you like moving or something that day, helping your?
Look, God only knows.
You had a day by the time that show rolled
I think this
around.
was the throes of my breakup.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah, Daddy was getting .2 on the daily.
Daddy needed his medicine.
Yeah, dude. There was no stopping me during that time.
Oh fuck.
I know how to cope, you know. I know how to make myself feel better.
I remember when I got on there and I was like trying to do, okay, this is my best shit. Hopefully, still wasn't doing well. There was one larger, kind of like gregarious elderly man who was dead centered. He was really into it, and he would like put his hand. He's one of those like aggressive laughers. He's really flaming. Yeah. And he put his hand on his wife's shoulder, and she hated that comedy show so much she like recoiled from his touch. Like
I hope that's why she did
married
that.
for 62 years. Like every time like he like pat her on the back, she just flinch. Like it was like, oh my God. Unbelievable. That woman had a look of discomfort the whole time I was up there. Like
that was a fucking tough night.
Boy, it sure was.
One of those nights though where the bar owners happy because the fucking place was packed.
Oh yeah.
Oh totally. If you just look at it from a liquor sales perspective, it was a banger.
But I wonder if she would do another one, because what do you think the response from the crowd
Not
was?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably talked about it, and they're probably like, that was horrible, huh?
Yeah.
You know?
I bet it's still being talked about.
You know what? If we could do another one,
dude.
If we could do another one, you'd have to fix the lighting somehow. It might not be bad because all those people that didn't like it wouldn't be there. And then it wouldn't be fucking, asshole to elbow, There'd actually be room in there. People wouldn't be uncomfortable. Like,
yeah, but who is going to fill the vacuum that is left by people who didn't have fun?
Yeah. I think there were enough people there that would have had an okay time if they weren't surrounded by their fucking great aunts and uncles,
True. I have to say that I'm a little worried about your business savvy when you're like, it'd be better if less people were there.
For us. For us.
No, I know.
What I always love is your
It seems so backwards.
your unyielding optimism. You're always like, maybe if we win again.
Yeah.
No, Nathan.
I would go back.
Oh,
and
I will go back.
Yeah.
And I'll say that Joe Biden died again.
Yeah.
I'll open with it this time.
Holy shit! Like open with it like you think it's a catchphrase. Like they're gonna start chanting it.
Yeah, dude.
Oh shit! Guess what time it is? Joe Biden died. Wada, 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 wada. Let me clear my throat.
Holy fuck, dude.
Who's this mythical DJ
That should be my thing.
You should start traveling with a
my
DJ.
God.
You should do all of
Holy
these shows.
shit.
Yeah, you need to make that overhead just really
right? Yeah.
like, stretch that thing up to the sky, you know?
Like, how much better would the Velvet show had been if we'd had a DJ do a
Holy
20-minute
shit.
set leading into it?
Oh, Jesus.
That Velvet show was one for the fucking record books.
Oofta.
I mean,
Rough stuff.
one man threatened to kill another man, and I don't think it was ironic.
No,
Yeah, oh,
I don't
no.
think so.
I was like, I think he actually.
Oh, that was real.
He
Yeah.
suggested that he was like gay or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll fucking kill you.
And then later that night,
Holy shit, he means that.
that's just Jim. When he gets drunk, he thinks he's gay. He is gay. He's so gay.
And has to keep it pushed down all day.
Yeah, the alcohol knocks down the fucking force field. You
Yep.
know, like,
Oh man.
like if you,
That man needs therapy.
he wanted to eat a sandwich that a dude had fucked. That was how it all started. He wanted to eat the cum
with your
sandwich.
Jimmy John's joke.
Oh wow.
Remember that? Like,
Happy to
because you were
inspire
like,
this.
you want to eat my cum sandwich? He's
That,
like,
the look
yeah.
on your face.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want to
like-
eat my cum sandwich?
We are 3.5 minutes into this comedy show. I have already verbally accosted.
That was the
the
thing that blew my
audience.
mind. I'm like, Nathan is so measured, and you were already like, hey, fuckers.
During the rules.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I was like, okay. I'm like, if Nathan is feeling this energy as this bad, then it's got to be this fucking
Yeah.
bad, you know?
Oh my god.
Nobody wants the show to go better than Nathan.
Right.
He's not afraid to immediately be like, hey, fucking.
Oh my God.
They were just like
Dipshits.
fucking 3-year-olds, and we're fucking 30 seconds in. It's like, shut the fuck
It
up.
felt like being like, this is how the librarian must feel when she's like reading to the kindergartners.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And the kindergartners are drunk. Like, and some of them on uppers. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, there was that one nice table that had the cute daughter, though.
Yep. You guys both fell on the sword for that one. Because like by the time I got up, it was still bad.
Right.
But so many of the nightmare people had passed
The
out.
troublemakers had left. Yeah.
Remember when I was talking to those people after the show, and I somehow like brought up politics or something?
Yes.
And the guy started flipping out, and his buddy comes and whispers in my ear, he's like, talk about snowmobiles. And I was like, okay. So he's just coming at me. I'm like, are you a Polaris or Arctic guy?
I fucking.
And he just stops for like 10 seconds. He's like, I've been a Polaris guy my entire life. And he just goes on like, oh, I'm an Arctic guy. I hate to say it. He's like, well, it's okay.
Oh, God.
As long as you're sledding. I'm like, I sled. Oh, boy, do I sled.
It's my favorite all-time Josh Dullea moment. I came out of that bathroom just in time to see that skinny hillbilly go, and then fucking Biden. Dude, I know. Do you like snowmobiles?
Yeah. All in one sentence.
Oh,
And
my
what
God.
I don't get, you can't judge a book by its cover. That guy did not look like he'd be much of a fighter. It's like, how
Right.
the fuck do you have the nerve to be this aggressive?
Yeah.
That guy was like 0.3.
Alcohol.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
the
That guy
reason.
was like,
Like-
real,
that's-
real, like glassy. And
Yeah.
Like they're lucky that I want to keep doing these. There's been like 3 or 4 times we justifiably could have waited for a person to go out and smoke a cigarette and put the boots to
Yeah,
them.
absolutely.
Like we could have committed a felony that night, and I would have slept like an angel.
Motherfucker, we went back. We've been to Velvet since.
Wait, you guys did that show again?
Yeah, we've been back to that bar.
How'd that go?
better.
Not good.
Yeah, like
Jesus,
like
dude.
still not better though, but it's such a huge
The audacity
venue.
of both of you.
It's him.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't just name
I
them.
begged you to not put me on that show, and you talked me into it.
I should make a list of where I wouldn't go back. It has to have 2 or 3 names on it. Like,
Would you go back to the Speedway? Would you go back to the Speedway?
yep, totally.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
I would go back to the
In
Speedway.
Devil's Lake?
Yep,
No.
yep.
Well, I wasn't on that one.
Yeah.
Wow, you don't,
I would go
you
back-
don't need to be to know. It's,
I would go back to that one for a few reasons. One, We're way better now. That was early on. That was like
You're
the
right.
third or fourth show.
You're
and also
right.
that was a weird circumstance that all those people were there to watch the Class B boys basketball final. Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh, there were enough like asterisks on that show that
there
you're
are other
willing to
shows I would
try.
put like, man, the fact that I would maybe go back to Lemon.
You're out of your fucking mind.
Fucking Lemon was insane. Insane. How-
Never again.
Is that South Dakota?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fucking tough one.
Was there anything notable or just bad?
I've never seen Joe Christensen, who was on the podcast last week. I was watching this fucking guillotine march. These two, Marlon and Joe, go up there and eat shit, and I'm just sitting there waiting. I go, oh, fuck me, I got to do half an hour for this fucking nonsense. Joe comes up to me like, that motherfucker's a fucking asshole.
Yeah,
you just
you ever
hot,
seen Joe hot?
Yeah.
Like,
I think maybe like once.
I had never seen it before. It's a little
It
scary.
doesn't happen very
like-
often.
Joe was gonna kill that dude.
And like they were just like it's a phenomenon I now pay attention to. You're this town's loser that everyone is so sick of they won't talk to, or they just openly mock.
Right.
Yeah.
So then that guy sees us, we're out of towners, he gloms onto us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that guy at one point that night set out to offend or piss us off. He's just that unlikable and that dumb and that shitty.
Yeah. Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure it does.
Yep.
But the townsfolk know it and have stomped him down enough.
Yeah.
But we don't. So he sees like fresh meat.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
There was a show you, Tim.
Yeah, I was gonna say Twin Valley, the same
That
exact
had the
dynamic.
same guy. There was a guy there.
God, that was a nightmare show for me too. God damn.
And Tim
Fuck.
took that risk because you know what you can
Tim
do?
did great.
If that guy's being an asshole during your show, if you lose your mind on him, you might win the crowd over because everyone hates him.
They hate him
too.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, it worked
And
out.
that worked out huge for him. But sometimes it's like, hey, he's our shithead.
Yeah,
no
for
one
sure.
else can make
Yeah.
fun
For
of him. Like,
sure.
we don't know
Yeah.
you, man. We know
Yeah.
this guy.
Nobody
Right,
makes fun of my loser friend but me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true. Someone who has only loser friends, I totally understand this mentality.
I am in my head.
I get it. I get why they're like that.
If anyone else browbeat Alan like you do, you would.
I'd have his back, dude. And I've said deep, cutting, mean things to him. But if anyone else even proliferally, you
Right.
know, I would crush him.
Like I could think of that. I'm picturing both camps in my head of people in my hometown. Who's a dipshit, but that everyone kind of either feels sorry for or knows isn't a terrible person.
Right.
And who are the people that the whole place would love it if you just ripped them a new asshole?
Yeah.
Because there's both. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Just the ones that everyone dislikes or sick of. They've just been around them for 30 fucking years and they've been shitty the whole fucking time.
I think it depends if they're like sympathetic, right? So like this is a person that's just like
Pathetic.
like dumb or like
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like if it's just like a dumb person that's annoying and you go after them, I guarantee they're gonna defend him. You know what I mean? But if it's just a guy
Right.
who's just like actually just like a drunk asshole
Yeah.
who is like capable of not being a dipshit but just is because that's just you know what I mean? There's like a line there, I think.
We did a show in Westope, and there was that probably like 60-something-year-old guy, big guy, really like happy that the show was going on and this and that. And I don't know, I realized it, but I don't know if the guys that went up right away, he'd always go, yep. He had a job. It probably wasn't an accountant, you know, like he could work, but like,
Yeah.
But like, I think if like a comic would have like chewed his ass, you
would have been in trouble.
not even
Yep.
just like, hey, don't do that. But like someone might have fucking told you to go outside. I was like, oh, and man, I sure hope that don't happen on one of these. Funny that it hasn't with as many as but we're pretty fucking.
Well, you guys know, but you're bringing a lot of like not random Minneapolis comics, but you are kind of bringing people out that maybe are less equipped, you know.
handle it.
So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, sometimes depending on who they are, I mean, they do not take kind of any sort of disruption, you know. And
And we know people who will go too hard on a heckler.
of course, like immediately like
And,
snap
like,
into it.
And that's gonna happen one time.
I'm sure.
Yeah. There are plenty of comics in the Twin Cities that I think are very funny, but I'd be reticent to bring them to a show because they have no clue how they handle a crowd that isn't fucking on their side the whole time. Because somebody be like, you do the right shows, and if you're a big city comic, you don't ever have to put up with a nightmare horseshit crowd. You know, it's like, how will they handle that? You
Like
know,
a bad night for them is like, oh, CCU is kind of light.
Yep, right.
Like,
yeah.
oh wow.
Or just even like from a content perspective, like
Oh, totally.
like you and I both, maybe you too, like we have jokes I'll tell in the city that I don't tell in the prairie.
Do, but I'm not prolific enough for that. You know, like I can barely put together stuff that works. You know what I mean?
That's not true at all.
It's tough. It's tough. So I mean, I just like hope that. But now what I'm doing with these fucking, which I did a little bit at Larimore too. I'm just like, guys, this is not a clean comedy show. I hope you didn't think so. This next 6 minutes gonna be a little rough if you thought so.
Gonna be tough.
Like,
Yeah.
you gotta come with me. These are jokes. And I think they're good. They work.
It says adult content on the poster.
It's like, look, man, I'm sorry that your grandma's here, but I got nothing else. Okay, you know,
strap in, baby.
Holy shit. Any event that begins with "I'm sorry your grandma's here,"
and by here I don't mean at the show, I mean alive, still with us.
And sometimes it's a good idea to put you up early for that. Then I remember the first time I ever did comedy for money was on one of those Matt Novotny Wapaton shows. Cases that he would put together back in the day, and like I was fucking no good, and I was doing like fucking edgy shit, like abortion jokes and shit.
Right.
And we're in this VFW right after a fish fry, and it's just full of fucking old people.
Yeah.
And I go up. Well, Matt's hosting, so he does his shtick, and then I go up next, and like as soon as I put the mic back in the mic stand, like 40% of the room leaves. Like 45 people just walk out, and I'm watching this. I'm like, oh shit! And I go up to like Matt and JD afterwards, and I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't think that it was that bad, but everybody left. They're like, yeah, man. Why do you think we put you first? We don't want them here. Like,
oh shit!
They're all 85. Like,
that's a bold strategy, but I like it.
Right?
I like it.
It's like you're playing whist and you got to get rid of some of your trump tricks, you know?
Yeah,
so you got to slough some aces.
Yeah.
Dude, you should grab like fucking Roger Moore and bring him on the road.
Holy shit.
Just to do a quick 5 up front, just to weed him out.
Some of his material might win him over, though. You know? Maybe that's his crowd.
That's true. Yeah. Such a fine line there. Sometimes I just don't like the dirty shit. Because it's uncomfortable because you're with your family and shit.
The only thing I've guaranteed doesn't work out on the prairie, because I've tried it so many times, is any jokes about death. They don't want to hear.
Dark.
Yeah, dark, no good.
Like, you can get dirty, but not dark.
Yeah.
Like if I talked about my asshole, I'll still hold on to more than if I talked about my funeral.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
They're not into that.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Right?
They must like just enjoy life more. Or
I'm always shocked.
my favorite thing.
Don't tell us it's going to end.
Yeah.
I'm always shocked how well even gay dirty shit, like your thing about like kissing that guy when you're taking a piss or taking a shit, like that gets a huge pop. Like because there's like any joke that I have that has like a gay reference, I'm like, oh man, is that? But it always does. They probably wouldn't let if you're like a flamboyantly gay dude.
Maybe that's
and
it.
Like,
He's getting a descriptive section. It's like what's sucking it.
Maybe
how good it feels in the back of your mouth.
Maybe. Oh my god, like, you're reading from your journal. Yeah. The first time Francis entered me, like,
he coded my punching bag with his gum.
Part of it is they probably see us like these guys clearly aren't gay. No gay man dresses that poorly.
They're not wrong.
We might be the most poorly dressed group of people.
If you judged us just on fashion,
it's not good.
We are maybe the straightest men there
I
are.
see so many like Facebook memory pictures of comedy things in Fargo from like 2017. I'm like, I still wear that shirt.
Oh yeah. I don't buy a shirt. Yeah. I just have these shirts, and then like I get more somehow, and then some of them, like I don't know where they even fucking come from. I don't buy a shirt though. That's not a thing I do. You know?
Haven't bought a shirt in 15 years.
Dude, maybe like like.
I'm a grown man, and I still like. I'll look at the
Good start.
The pathetic amount of socks I have. Like, can we make it till December? Because I wait for Christmas for my mom to buy me socks.
Jesus Christ. You can just buy socks. They'll sell them to anybody. You don't have to. She doesn't have a special mom card that she has to present.
I think part of it is I know she's going to do it. It's like, I don't want to step on her toes.
Oh, my
God. It makes her feel good.
Right? Yeah.
but she still will, and you just have more
That's
socks.
true.
It really is good to have a lot of them.
Yeah, then I could throw away some of the old soldiers.
You got to retire a few.
Effed up, do I? Yeah.
Those fucking condom thin.
It's hard to tell which fucking hole my foot goes in. Oh man, one thing that has changed, I no longer have any nightmare underwear. God, I used to be so broke. Just these threadbare, like, why are you even wearing underwear at that point?
Why bother?
I don't have the holes anymore because
Yeah.
I'm in a new relationship, so like I gotta not. do it.
Oh, sure.
But I definitely have like the waistband, like it's like a wave, like a
Oh, yeah.
steady, like like a sound wave, whatever you call it.
Some
Yeah.
curly fry boys.
Yeah, I mean, basically all of them. Like I don't remember the last time I bought underwear, so these are all years.
No shit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's pretty rough. I mean, I clean them, but
Good for you.
At least they're clean.
yeah, mostly. But
In the sink before you go out.
they're fucking worn. You can tell. You can tell.
They ain't fresh. They're not new.
Nope, certainly not. Dude, if we have time, we should stop into the Cardinal Bar and have a beer. You been to the Cardinal Bar? Oh, boys. Cardinal Bar, that's a haunt.
Is it a dump?
Oh, it's
in
a
the best
real
ways?
smelly
Yeah.
piece of shit.
Man.
Right on the fucking green line.
Oh,
So
boy,
like
just bus
any
transients.
vagrant, all vagrants welcome, and they it's an all beer bar, or I guess they don't have their liquor license. They have the beer and wine license.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I have to assume that hasn't always been the case. You know what I mean? Like that fucker got revoked for sure. I don't know, but must have.
You guys share a penchant for that kind of venue that I do not at all.
You don't like the dive bar?
No,
Really?
Not a dive
I would
boy.
have pegged you as a dive bar guy.
Believe me, I look it. I'm aware.
Yes. If I went to a dive bar and saw a fella like you, I'd be like, this makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
It's a nice ornamental piece they have here.
Someone hangs a coat on you. Like, I'm still a person.
I'm a man.
Stalwart.
Like a cigar store Indian outside.
We still need to get you to that Tea Stop bar in North Minneapolis.
God, that's all 3-2 beer, right?
Yeah, I mean, you drink enough 3-2 beer fast enough.
I've done it.
Yeah,
It gives you a headache is what it does.
that's kind of like being drunk.
I mean,
You get brain freeze. That's what happens to me if I drink a 3-2 beer. You drink it so fast that it's ice cold. Like, fucking head hurts. Like,
Dude, my bro and I, have you ever the drinking game Ride the Bus? Are you familiar with that?
yeah.
So we did that. My brother and I will still do it sometimes, just if we're trying to get hammered quick, especially with like light beers. But we were at a cabin with our family. It was just us left and his girlfriend at the time. So it was just the three of us. We were just trying to, and all you could buy in Minnesota on Sundays at that time was 3-2 beer. Mm-hmm. They didn't have any liquor sales at all, but you could go to a gas station and still get 3-2.
Yeah.
So we got like a couple 12 packs of Coors Lights and literally like drove through those 24 beers in like 2 hours. like not even exaggerating, just chugging. And I remember being like, I don't even know if I'm drunk. I just feel weird.
like just full.
Yeah, I just feel sick, I was a much younger man. I don't think I could do that now, but
Ride the Bus was one of those drinking games that I never knew how to deal, but like other friends did.
Okay.
So like I'd be at a house party or pre-gaming usually, like, oh fuck, I'll play that,
I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
it's really fun. There's different variations of it too. Like everyone kind
House
of does it a
rules.
little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So there's the set. I don't know. The setup I think is the same. I don't know, but Alan, my podcast, he that guy fucking, he like knows every like drinking game.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what our regulars were. If you had a big group of people, P&A.
P&A's great.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking to get hammered, it was dumb. Was Ring of Fire?
I don't even know what that is.
It's
No, me neither.
alcohol poisoning is what it is.
Fun.
I can't remember. You make circles with the cards, and it's like whatever that flip is, that's how many drink. Middle ring, it's 2 drinks times 2.
Right.
Middle ring, third ring is times 3.
It's like not even a game.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
Like, where's the
Why
game?
play the game?
Yeah, it's like, oh fuck, you got an ace. That's 52 drinks. When I think of that, I think of just brain splitting brain freeze from drinking fucking
Yeah,
ice
man.
cold
Yeah.
Natty
You can
Light,
get that on Riding the Bus too, for
How
sure.
did the fuck the dealer work?
I don't remember that either anymore.
Yeah, we for sure
I played
played
it
that,
too.
but I don't remember anything about it.
A game called Categories.
Categories is classic.
Oh, I don't think we played that.
Oh my.
And then there's also the game. Was this Categories where after you would grab the card you would then have to slide it under the tab of beer, and the person who cracks the beer with their cards, it accumulates until it gets to a point.
Cumulative, yeah.
Right. And so the person who cracks it then has to chug that beer, which it might be after you. It might be kind of like categories, and then that's an additional part.
Yeah.
I never heard
which
of
is
that.
always good.
God, we played a lot of speed quarters.
Quarter hockey? You ever play quarter hockey?
Oh, no.
Dude, quarter hockey's fun, dude. That's a good one.
We played a card game. It had to be for you. It was kind of like we're just chilling, drinking beer. Something fun's happening later. We got 3 hours to kill. A game called hockey. It was 2-on-2. Like, so you had a teammate. And I can't remember how the fuck it worked, but it was such a fun game. It's like, I'd play it sober. Let's just play hockey while we're waiting for our beer to show up. Yeah. Fuck, I can't think of the rules at all, but God, it was a fun game.
Yeah, those are the days, man.
It feels like we're missing a couple real basic card games, but maybe that's about it.
None that I can think of. We were never much for drinking games, though. Like, I remember in college, like, the closest we got to, like, long-running drinking games was, like, me and my buddy would play Tiger, and at the end of every hole, you drank your stroke difference.
Oh,
and
nice.
But the problem was we had to keep adding things to it because we were both too good at Tiger, because that's all we fucking did all day.
Those games are fucking
Oh,
fun,
yeah. Like,
dude.
especially around, like, fucking 2010, 2015.
I think that's the one I had in, like, 2009 or, like, something like that.
Like,
yeah.
it was, like, he was coming over every day, and we'd play Tiger for fucking 6 hours.
We had Tiger Woods on, so we had a modded Xbox. My dad's like always been super into tech and shit. Like, like he had computers like right when everyone was doing that. He was like playing Quake like online. Like,
awesome.
Like
baffling.
Like
Can
LAN.
you imagine your dad playing Quake?
In 1998. Like, you know what I mean? Like with his brothers
That's
and shit.
early.
And like,
What do you think how the fuck did he even know that world existed?
dude, I don't know, but my dad and like a couple of his other brothers have just been always on top of the shit. Like they've just always been in on it. I don't know how, but so I remember they learned how to mod Xbox and it's like really young. Like, so I was like, I don't know, like 8th grade we had a modded Xbox and we had Tiger Woods on there. Yeah. And so our whole family played Tiger Woods. Like literally my dad got into it, my brothers got into it. And then I remember I made my character and I made it a lady and this like had like the max amount of tits and like the smallest lady. I remember my dad being like, "Oh, that's a very interesting build you got there." My whole family was just like, "God damn it!" They just knew exactly what I like to come to. Like as a 14-year-old, like just like a blonde girl with short hair and giant titties.
Here I am on the bleeding edge of technology, and my son uses it to make titties.
Yeah. Dude. She's just crushing 300-yard drives with those fucking triple G's, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. I would still beat off of that. If I get back into that Xbox, dude, I would fucking give it one last spin, you know?
Nostalgia tug.
It's like, hey, Tanya, I know I'm on my back 9, but one more time for old time's sake.
Play it again, Sam.
Sure thing, Josh.
Oh, shit.
Not really a game, but like I think I was part of many times where it started and we either got bored or didn't bother finishing. Like I only finished it once or twice was Century Club.
I don't know that one either.
Oh, well, I do power hours. I still do power hours.
Oh, what's a power hour?
So a Century Club is where you take 100 shots of beer in 100 minutes, correct?
Yeah.
So a power hour is just 60 ounces of beer or 60 shots of beer in 60 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like fucking pussy. Yeah. It's the fucking Gen Z version of it.
See, the term power hour for us meant that because that was back in the day where
right, you had an hour, right, or whatever,
before you turned 21,
right? Yeah.
And you try to kill your friend. Yeah. And some people succeeded.
You go to the bar at midnight and they close at 1.
Yeah. I think was it 2 or 3 people died in Fargo?
Oh yeah, that's why there's
shut that shit down.
There aren't power hours in Fargo anymore.
My buddy's weapon of choice, if he was on someone's power hour, is buy him a triple of rail gin.
Oh,
such a brutal thing.
God
to do.
damn
And one
it.
time, one of our other friends, like, God damn it, if he's getting one, we're all getting one. Drinking room temp rail gin in like a soup bowl.
I'm like almost gagged.
Yeah,
right.
If I thought about it, for me, the one thing that would be worse would be a triple of rail tequila. That sounds so.
I would take the rail tequila.
Over the gin,
Oh,
probably.
yeah.
But
I really hate gin.
Man, that's tough.
Like, listen, I ain't gonna be celebrating that I have real tequila in front of me, but
of the basic hard liquors, would gin be your least favorite?
yeah, easily.
Probably me too. Really.
Yeah. I mean, gin ain't meant to be drunk
I
straight.
don't like rum very much either, though.
Oh, no shit.
I like rum.
A good rum.
Yeah.
I think rum and tequila are similar that way, where it's like, if you're gonna give me a good tequila or a good, if it's good enough that you can sip on it.
Yeah.
But I think almost anything leading up to that.
I'm
you know?
with you on both of those, tequila and rum. Like you have to go so far up from the bottom to get to a good one,
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Whereas like whiskey, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like any rail whiskey is fine.
There was a time in my late 20s when I was broke and drinking too much, when the liquor store by my place had this endless great sale on cognac. And one time the fucking guy working was like a middle-aged black man. I was like, drink a lot of cognac for a white boy. I was like, you can't beat the price. And God, he was like, he just respected that. Like, I ain't trying to ape your culture.
Yeah.
Don't mean to use that word. But I need as much bang for my buck, and this cognac price is pretty good.
I like how you've said the worst thing on the podcast now.
Appropriate? You know what you're going for?
I mean, ape is the right word.
No,
it just,
It sure is.
saying
It
it.
sure is. It sure is, Nathan.
Ah, Jesus.
I surely didn't mean it, but that worked out like peaches and cream.
It's like doing a podcast with my fucking uncles.
I'm just fighting so many things.
Yeah, of course you are. Thank
The
you.
internal struggle.
Thank you for fighting.
I'm like shaking and like fucking slithering in my seat.
Inside is just roiling.
It's just,
It looked like Axl Rose was dancing.
oh god damn it, man.
He would have some hot takes too.
Probably.
I'm sure. I'm sure of
Oh
it.
God. I had a roommate in college who his drink of choice was fucking Di Serono. He would sit and drink just
White guy?
Yep, just like 3 fingers of Di Serono with an ice cube in it.
That is
Yeah.
so interesting.
What does Di Serono fall under? Like
It's an
a liqueur?
amaretto,
Or is it
a liqueur? Yeah, a cordial.
Yeah, cordial, yeah. That's a weird section of a liquor store I
Yep.
never go down.
It's a weird tiny section.
Yeah. Or like the fucking, like, we're going to make you puke when you're in college, like the Yukon Jack type boozes. They have
Oh, I had
a-
a horrible when I was 14 years old. Yukon Jack literally had the worst time of my life.
I had one buddy growing up that for some reason that was in his head. That's what you drink for hard liquor. So, like I didn't move until I moved to Fargo. That's when I realized, oh, like Yukon Jack isn't as popular as Jack Daniels or like no.
You were like blown away.
At our company Christmas party once, I was like maybe just 21 or 22, like kind of still figuring out bar culture. Like, oh, we're gonna buy shots, and then well, next time you get around, okay.
Yeah.
And my round comes up, like, okay, we're gonna get 7 Yukon Jacks, and it was me, another dude, and 5 20-something-year-old women. How do you think they reacted?
The last thing they want a shot
saddest,
of.
most like, I don't. This is not good. It's like, did I finish their half-drunk shots of Yukon Jack?
Atta
You
boy.
bet your ass I
Atta
did.
baby.
We're not gonna let that get dumped out.
I love that moment or that period of time from like your late teens to like your mid 20s where you're like trying to find your voice alcohol wise. Like, what is my drink? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I for a long time was a Southern Comfort and soda. Like
Interesting.
That's not
Very
a
interesting.
drink.
I had a run where I drank SoCo.
Yeah.
SoCo diets a lot.
Like
yeah.
that's something a 22-year-old
Yep.
drinks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And when you're like young, it was often what did your buddies also drink? So it's like because you go in on shit when you're like 15,
Right,
you know? Like,
Right. It was always just beer when we were that young.
see, I was hard alcohol right away then because for me, hard alcohol, you could hide a bottle of whiskey in a culvert and it wouldn't explode, which I
Sure.
literally did all the time.
Yes, I
but
also
like
did
beer, you had to be a little more
Yeah.
sneaky.
Takes up more space.
Yeah,
It's loud
it's
if it rolls around on the floorboard.
little
Yeah.
temperature volatile.
Yeah. Gets shook up. You don't want that. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. Whiskey's better or any fucking hard alcohol is better for shenanigans, you know?
For sure.
I've pretty much had a run with every major liquor except tequila. I just like.
Oh, you're missing
I had a
out.
weird run in my mid-20s where I was gin and sours. Had to be
Really?
Bombay Sapphire, but gin and sours.
Yeah.
I fucking drank gin and sour so much. I was at work. I worked a day shift, and we always got a free after work drink. And then I had that, and then fucking like 3 old guys at the bar that were regulars. It was someone's birthday, and they all were buying rounds. And my buddy was bartending, a mix of just like fucking rocket fuel, you know. By 7 p.m., I had stumbled back into the hotel where I worked and passed out on an elderly couple's luggage. Didn't realize it. I wake up to my coworker poking, like, Nathan, I'm laying on there sweating through their luggage. And as I wake up in my stupor, I can see a concerned elderly couple behind her, like looking past her. Why is this man on top of our luggage? The fucking sun was still out. It was 7:30 in June. I remember I went to puke and I hit my front teeth against the front of a public toilet.
my God.
You know, like so bad. It's like, fuck me, dude, if you broke your teeth on this fucking toilet.
Oh, God.
God, I went to a wedding dance after that. Like, Jesus Christ.
This is a day.
You think, tell you what, there ain't Uber in my hometown. Driving .28 drunk.
Hell yeah, you
Hey, the sun's out. You don't get a DUI and the sun's out.
That's not a real rule. That's not a real rule.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Fuck, when I go back to Fargo, I just crack a beer while I'm driving. I'm like, we're back home, dog. I'm not putting on airs for these people.
Right.
Thinking back, like, if we were in Fargo going back home for something, you'd get a fucking case of beer all the fucking time.
Let's
Road beers,
go,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I always talk about, like, I guess not to go back to all these road stories again, but like it's always funny, like the drive to shows with Nathan, I'm like pretty quiet, and on the way back I'm just fucking just blabbing his fucking ear off.
Which I appreciate. Keep me awake.
It's like Nathan is allowing me to crush Coors Lights on the way back home, and he's a saint for that.
For the longest time, for the majority of the time we've known each other, I've never like seen you in the daylight. Like I only saw you like at open
I'm
mics.
a fucking vampire.
Like only open mics and comedy shows. So
That is a
like,
good point.
it took me a lot of years before I just saw you in the day and be like,
That's
oh,
weird.
he's not always like that.
If I'm somewhere rural and I'm not drunk, I have no problem with everyone having an open container.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's. I was just thinking, what's my rule there? If I'm drunk and driving dirty, it's like, we should probably try to keep it cool.
I think that's a pretty good rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I would open a can of beer in my car. No, bug me. But fucking start smoking a cigarette. Be like, hey, what are you doing? You know,
Well, no one
Yeah.
does that anymore.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy to do that now.
Yeah.
I would let people. People ask if they can smoke weed in my car. I'm like, you can basically do whatever you want.
I weirdly baby my cars in some ways, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do not.
That's like the biggest thing you like take pride in is your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't nobody smoking anything in my fucking car.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's probably good, but it's like I can't like pretend like I respect it. You know, like
You're not gonna put on air.
There's a windrow of litter in the passenger's floorboards.
I mean that's real.
Yeah,
that's factual.
That time I got in, this is like pre-COVID. I'm like, I have disrupted the ecosystem. Like my feet going in raised the water level so much the garbage is spilling out. So it's like, man, we're just gonna have to litter a bunch.
I spent 15 minutes putting garbage from my car into a bag while Nathan was hysterically laughing on the sidewalk, watching me do it.
So much garbage.
Dude, Alan's wife, Carly, cleaned out my car. She's like, I'm just going to do it because it's been a problem for my passengers. That's just the garbage, the footwell, and the passenger, that is a dumpster.
No, it's okay.
And so one time, if I would have known this was in there, I would not have okayed her getting her hands in there.
Oh,
but there was a used tampon that she pulled out of there.
Oh no!
For my ex-girlfriend and me. Just fucking in the car when she's on her period, you know. I guess look, she's more the animal though, because she just, you know, uncorked and just tossed it down into the fucking. I mean, what a savage. I mean, good girl. But I mean, unbelievable. Carly, the look in Carly's face, she just lifted it up. It looked like she was dangling a mouse, you know, like it's just like,
oh god,
oh man, I felt so bad for her.
Oh boy, that's unreal.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, I'm in a new relationship now, so I'm like certain things I'm like trying to keep concealed a little bit.
yeah.
But that, like, every time she comes to the car, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And then I start driving me, and you start apologizing for how I do that too. I'm like, yes, I know it's crazy. I'm a crazy person. Everything in my life doesn't make any sense, and I'm mentally ill. Like, you know, just constantly just a stream of apologies for just existing
For
as you
40 miles.
Yeah, for existing as you are. Just knowing your shortcomings, but doing nothing to
I'm
change
so sorry
them.
that this is how I am.
Yeah. It's like apparently nothing's going to change. I've been waiting for it to.
I had a buddy.
I've been waiting for it to.
It never changes.
Oh, God.
I had a buddy's girlfriend who finally couldn't take it and cleaned our bathroom in my first apartment in Fargo. There was like a 10-inch thick horseshoe-shaped pissed on newspaper ring around the base of our toilet, and it all snapped out like
vile.
a broken cast. Like when it's like, I mean, like that's literally what it felt like, was cast. Like it was so
Plaster?
solid. Yeah, plaster. Thank you. Yeah, like this huge ring
God.
of newspapers,
Jesus
and like,
Christ.
and I swear to God, in the middle of it, like it was an archaeological dig, was a paperback book my buddy been looking for. He's like, I could have returned that during book trade last semester. It was like right, and we pulled it out, and it was
Jesus
still
Christ,
like,
dude.
how is this? It's like a fossil. Like, how is this
Jesus
book still
Christ.
readable?
Brushing
like,
it off with tiny brush.
He put it in the microwave. I remember just watching that book spin in the microwave.
Why?
To kill the piss germs or whatever. He read that
kept the
book.
book.
He
Oh,
read
God.
that book. I might have read that book.
All
No.
That's too far. No,
Yeah.
I'm not looking to read your piss fossil.
That is just, I mean, how expensive was that book?
When the ring of piss, the piss beehive got cleared out, it was perfectly clean underneath. So there was like this U of cleanliness. God, another buddy of mine, we took him out for his power hour, and we almost killed him. Like, I think about that. My buddy's now wife,
checks out.
then girlfriend, would come out of their bedroom like, are you keeping an eye on him? Because he was just violently like dry heaving and choking. We're playing fucking Crash Bandicoot or something like that, like a kid's game on the fucking PlayStation. Hey, he's fucking okay. He's okay. No, Conker's bad for a day. And he just, we're just hearing it, but like, finally, we got to go check on him. He is 6'4", chubby fella. He has just been flailing and drunk, sweating. So there's like a snow angel in the grime on the floor of our bathroom, which is now all on his back. So there was like a clean snow angel in the fucking grease.
How old were you when this was going on?
21.
Okay, that's
This wasn't just the other day.
I just had to make sure.
I had a roommate who didn't do shit, and we shared a bathroom. Like, I can clean it up after. I can live like an animal too. Still convinced that he must have spun pirouettes while he shaved, because everything was covered in a thin mist of hair.
Weird, I can relate to this. A little more recently than 21, more like 31, but you know.
It wasn't fucking 2002. It was 8 hours ago.
I witnessed this earlier this afternoon.
Oh, that fuck. And I remember, like, when we were taking pictures with a camera, like the disposable camera, because that's all. They were laughing at this man who's literally dying. Looking back, I remember when he woke up, or when I woke up, because I was hammered. He's like, oh, fuck, is he okay? You know, like, just finally, like, my brain's working, and he fucking looked like shit, but he made it through the night. I mean, there was a picture of him bent over, and his pants were falling down his ass, and his ass cheeks looked like Aretha Franklin's titties. They looked like a proud old woman's titties. Like, there was like such a gap between them, and like the pants were pushing them together. It's like your butt cheeks are 3 fingers apart. That's fucking wild. Like, do you have aftermarket butt cheeks? Like, I don't think they come from the factory like this. You shouldn't be able to put a deck of playing cards between your ass cheeks.
Oh my god.
God, that picture was in our fridge forever.
I want to be weird. Me butt cheeks making me feel some sort of way.
How are those not tits?
Oh my god.
It really was the Aretha Franklin titty picture.
Holy fuck. Not to be this guy, but how do you not tell this on stage?
No shit.
God. I don't want to be guys like, hey, that's a bit, but I don't know. It seems like a bit.
You need to explore that one, maybe.
Holy fuck, dude. That's
Oh,
hey, speaking
shit.
of power hours, not to plug my podcast a million times on here.
Hell yeah, do it.
But we do year at the end of every year of our podcast, which has only been 2 years. We do a power hour. So at the end of every episode, we make a song.
Yeah.
I like improv a song basically.
Yeah.
And then that's how we close the podcast. And at the end of the year, I chop all the songs up into a minute apiece, and we do a power hour to our songs.
Nice.
So if you want to listen to a power hour of things
That's a
I
good idea.
made,
That is fun.
yeah, we get fucking. It's really it's hard to edit because we get drunk. We're like, this song ripped, dude. We did so good. We start all like sheepish, and we're like, dude, we're good at this, man. We're so good at punk. And it's like, oh, it's the worst.
We're
to listen
right to do this. We're right to do this.
It's the worst to listen to because you just get drunk and you're with your buddy, you get all confident. And, so literally the least favorite version of myself, but that's what you can look forward to.
On Going Hard.
Yes, the Going Hard podcast. Check it out. You'll enjoy it, probably.
Welcome, by the way, 90 minutes into America's Barley Basket with Marlon and Nathan and our friend Josh Dullea.
Hey.
We're ready to put a bow on this thing.
Beautiful.
Like, these ones without Simpsons, we just kind of go with a rolling start, like a
That's
cold
good,
open.
though. That's good.
Yeah, and then just like, whenever I find a break, I usually jump in there with one. I forgot
It
today.
dawned on me earlier, like,
Wow.
I figured I missed it. Like, all right,
You could do a little magic, whatever. It's all good.
I think it's funny.
I'm gonna let it roll. Yep.
Like that, was it fucking Friday the 13th part 3 that the credits roll like 28 minutes into the movie?
Yep. This is a real late title card.
What an awesome movie to be avant-garde. Fucking a Friday the 13th sequel.
We have artistic things we would like to do.
Am I wrong? That movie starts with like a 28-minute flashback or like a cutscene to how the things in the first movie ended. And then it's like, here's the next one, and you get 50 minutes of movie and it's over.
They do like a previously on.
Yeah, kind of. Like they show you how that story ended. Because I'm assuming number 2 ended on a cliffhanger. There is a horror movie aficionado headbutting their phone right now. They're so mad at me for butchering this story.
Well, they shouldn't be such fucking losers.
Yeah.
And be fucking horror movies aficionados.
Not like us.
Yeah.
Maybe get a real hobby, douchebag. I'll say that. I'll come to your defense. Keep bashing your head until you die. That's what I say. Don't stop until you can't think anymore.
You clearly don't have any heirs. There is no one. No one will mourn your death.
Yeah, exactly.
You will get buried
Yes.
in a fucking blank city lot.
Your death will be forgotten easily by everyone.
Where'd you get the name for your podcast?
Fuck them.
What do you think happens to you, like, in a small town? It's got to be so rare, or even like a Fargo-sized town. If you die and you have no one, do they...
I mean, it's got to go to somebody. Like,
do you think
Oh
they...
yeah, you have an heir somewhere.
But I don't know, man. Like, what if no one claims you?
goes to the state.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, I suppose.
yeah. Like, do
But,
you think they burn you or do they bury you?
They give you a Viking funeral.
I would sign up for a Viking funeral. Hell yeah.
That's badass.
That's the most metal cremation.
Dude, to have a guy who can knock an arrow from like 100 yards away and just hit you perfectly in the center of a fucking stream.
Just
Let's
floating in
go.
a canoe down the fucking
Yeah,
creek.
let's go.
Yeah.
Once a
Start
month.
a goddamn prairie fire.
Yeah, dude.
Once a month, they leave the coroner's office and dump all the corpses into a roll-off tank that they usually use to recycle brush. Your yard scraps, just heaping with unwanted bodies. I mean, they all get turned to mulch in the end.
Every farmer back home has a dead pit for when a fucking cow knocks out in the fucking pasture.
True.
Just roll you out of the pickup
That's
bed.
how farmers can make side hustles, as they rent out their dead pit to cities.
Yep.
Everyone from Baltimore that doesn't have loved ones gets buried in our backyard.
Buried in pretty big air quotes.
Yeah. All the fucking coyotes are fat as shit.
That coyote's got gout.
Coyote's been eating too good. Just a coyote laying on the ditch sweating. Rough one.
Dragging its belly. It looks like a goddamn potbelly pig.
Oh, man.
Coyote's got tits. That's not good.
Oh, shit.
Coyote needs a bra.
Oh, fuck.
There's something alarming about seeing a wild animal being morbidly obese.
There's the last time I was at the zoo in Bismarck, there's which was several years ago at this point, but there is the fattest tiger you've ever seen.
That is
it's
really
sad.
depressing.
Yeah, it's super depressing.
Tigers are not.
You're just like,
that.
oh, buddy, you're not supposed to look like that. When I was there, he was just on top of the concrete thing, just laying on his side.
Tony Soprano, the tiger.
Yeah, exactly. Just struggling to breathe. We gotta get this tiger a CPAP. It's gonna die.
Licking a giant Jolly Rancher. That can't be what it's meant to eat.
We gotta get this tiger up and moving. This is a bummer.
There's some lackadaisical teen walking by and flinging scoops of ice cream at all the animals. Eat. Fucking eat or don't. I don't give a fuck.
Let's get this tiger a rascal scooter. Jesus Christ.
Dude, I hate zoos for that reason.
I'm not
Zoos
much of a zoo person.
Depress me.
Yeah, they're a bummer.
Much, dude.
For me, I don't mind a zoo, but I can just watch this. That's an example of I can watch a nature show on TV. That's is I don't need to see a morbidly obese fucking tiger try to fucking get into a goddamn fucking child swing and have a fucking employee push it. Biscuits loves to have fun. Biscuits wishes it was dead.
I think there's maybe value to a person who lives in North Dakota can go see a tiger.
Yeah.
There's probably an educational value to that. But at the same time, not if you ask the tigers.
You know what I think people in North Dakota should be doing? Going and seeing black people occasionally. Occasionally seeing someone of a different race.
Not in zoos, to be clear.
Oh, no.
The Harlem Globetrotters are probably done more for race relations in the upper Midwest because they'll come to every town. They'll come to every town.
You're right.
They'll play Jamestown. They'll play Devil's Lake.
100%
Curly Slimmer, that's the first black guy most people see.
Everyone's dad's real skeptical. Look how much fun they're having. They start clowning on the white guys too much that they're beating up in the game. Hey,
back off a little. Okay.
They treat him with respect.
Everyone in North Dakota are big Generals fans.
I've never somehow seen a Harlem Globetrotters event.
No shit.
I haven't either.
I did when I was a little kid, a real little kid.
Yeah.
That's who it's meant for.
Oh, totally. It's like the circus.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. I think I got to be such a basketball snob at such a young age that I would have thought it's low rent.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'd have been like, look at this silly shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Play some defense.
Probably 20 years ago, someone new bought the Globetrotters, and part of his goal was to make them a very competitive team. His goal was to make them the best team in the world that's not in the NBA.
Okay.
And he kind of did that. They started playing big D1 schools in
what?
Yeah, they lost a nail biter to Michigan State.
Still doing all the silly shit?
No.
Okay.
They almost had a two. Some guys were on both, but they kind of had the competitive squad and the fun, the goof 'em up squad.
Interesting. Well, I guess it makes sense. I mean, you could sell both products.
Yep, exactly.
Depending on what you want.
They had 3 or 4. Oliver Miller was on that team. Chris Morris, who played a long time with the Jazz and the Nets. He had dreams, and they must have fucking 86 that immediately. You never heard anything about it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it until now.
Going to a hard-nosed, close Harlem Globetrotters game is such a weird idea.
Yeah.
They lose because that was why it made the news. They lost for the first time in 48 years.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because originally they did also. They were barnstorming like the 40s and 50s. They'd play what's the best team in Maryland? We're gonna play them. The Globetrotters are in town. That's how they got the idea that pro sports used to be so honky-tonk that guys would do that as a side hustle.
So cool.
Could you imagine if fucking LeBron James was just in Jamestown this summer,
right,
playing 3-on-3 with a bunch of other fucking rando dudes?
That's sick though.
Yeah, it was either that or sell aluminum siding. They all had to have a side job back then.
I mean, baseball did fucking barnstorming for decades.
Yeah. There were guys that would get in fights with them because the labor shit was so unfair. Fuck it, I'm going to take a year off and just barnstorm.
Yeah.
Good players, all-star caliber players would take a year off, and make good money, you know,
and get exhibition games against pros,
What a weird thing.
The fucking Yankees would play a fucking barnstorming team.
Dude, that's fucking cool, though.
Right?
back in the day, the NBA used to do Friday night, Saturday night, and a doubleheader on Sundays. Catch how fucking gassed those guys were that Sunday late game. Like,
Bro.
Waking up Monday morning, can't move.
Yeah.
Oh,
For
fuck.
sure.
calling timeouts because you need a smoke.
That's the thing that like really is a bummer. Like you see all those old pro sports pictures of guys just like ripping darts on the fucking bench. It's like, bro, what a time, you know?
Like Billy Mitchell standing in the dugout with a huge cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can probably fucking put a pin in this at any time.
Yeah, we
too.
fucking we did it. We did it. I was gonna say, you guys do marathons, man. You guys got some fucking endurance.
Oh man,
dude.
especially when the Simpsons are going. These are fucking 2.5, 3 hours long.
It's 58 minutes to a minute or an hour and 2 minutes, and it's like that's boom, 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 right in the pocket.
These ones where we're just horsing around, like we've had hour-long ones, we've had almost 2 hour-long ones, like whatever. Like
it's good to have the freedom.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm always one. I don't want to put the jokes on put the brakes on a good time. You know, if
you shouldn't. Especially
if the jokes are flowing and shit, hell yeah.
What are the colored buttons on here for?
Okay, quit being so racist. God damn. It seems like they're aping.
There's sound effects. You can program them if you want. It's a soundboard.
That'd be, no shit. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
You put like a fart noise.
Yeah. All fart noises.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Get Morning Zoo, get a boing.
Exactly, yeah. Heather Locklear.
Cheer, applause.
Yeah, exactly.
A boo.
A boo, yeah.
Well, you have to talk about people from that time. Cindy Crawford. That shit gives me a boner.
Then a loud fart noise.
Yeah. I fart whenever I get a stiffy. I can't help it.
Toilet flush.
Yeah.
You probably know all this firsthand almost. You've been eating morning stuff, right?
Oh, I've done morning show
You
shit.
did do some morning
Oh,
stuff?
yeah. No soundboard.
What was like the hackiest thing that you just had, like your program
that had to participate in?
Yeah, like made you do.
Oh, shit.
There has to have been some bad ones.
No, because like the times I was on the morning show, I was on like a boring AM talk radio show, so it wasn't like Morning Zoo.
Okay, so you never did Morning Zoo.
Right, exactly.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But like, and the morning show stuff I did when I was in rock radio was kind of just pushing buttons. You know, I wasn't participating in the show, so
gotcha.
I lucked out on that.
You weren't.
But you had to been sitting there being like, how are we not all killing ourselves?
Right.
At
Yes.
times,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems.
That'd been awesome. Like they would have just like turned their fangs on you and forced you on all these weird location shoots.
Oh, man.
Like, you're at fucking Thunder and Down Under.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I had to do plenty of that shit in radio, just in general. Of like, hey, I'm out at M&H. Come on out. Pepsis are $2 for $1.
That kind of sounds like fun.
No, it's fucking
Yeah,
terrible.
I'm just gonna say you were gonna be rebuted.
Terrible.
Could you not like drink? You probably couldn't drink.
Right, of course, yeah. No,
yeah,
you had to
you're
behave.
having
If you're at a
sober.
bar remote, you could have a couple, but radio doesn't pay well enough to afford a drink.
Yeah, right.
So,
And your stories of the fucking pathetic people that come to all of them
the fucking prize pigs.
to get the free. The fact that there's a name
Yeah.
means that it's a comp. Yeah.
They're the
Yeah.
chuckle fuckers.
Yeah,
and the lot
exactly.
lizards.
Yeah.
Just come for a free keychain.
Yeah.
Like free Coast can koozie.
They'd fucking come out every week.
What a life. You know who I
for
picture
sure.
in my head?
Well, I know one person who does.
I picture the pathetic people that would go to the one place in Fargo that still had dollar blackjack and be waiting at the front doors of the bar at like 10:15 a.m. waiting for them to open it up so they could go play dollar blackjack.
Ugh.
And usually they'd have like $5 to $7 amongst the three of them. And when they lose it, they go to the gas station next door and beg for dollars. And once they scrounged up a few, they'd come back and play those.
Oh, that's hard times.
That's fucking, and like not one of those people were under the age of 45, I bet.
God
they were a lot of them
dang.
like in their 60s and 70s. It's like, what an existence. What a life.
man.
Just crushing tap waters, never tip anything ever, like. They were blackballed from every fucking spot in town, every other gambling thing except that one place that you would have to fucking power bomb a dealer through a table to get blackballed. Like, choke slam fucking through a fucking pig wheel table. Like,
We finally got to wrestling. I didn't think we would.
we did
Ring
it.
the bell.
Hey, I got the soundboard.
I'm the worst guest for any wrestling related things. Unless you're talking about folk style wrestling, Class B North Dakota from 2006 to 2010.
very narrow window.
In which case, boys, we can have a conversation.
Let me tell you about the Gunderson brothers from Carrington.
Yeah.
Where do I begin?
Yeah, exactly.
Stout young
Yes.
men.
You guys may as well mute your mics.
Yeah. Don't worry, boys.
You're going to take a nap.
Well, I'll get us to 3 hours. The next hour and 11's on me. All right. Little gift.
Well, let's wrap it up, boys.
Yeah, let's do it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
real,
coming,
real
Josh.
fun.
This
real
is a lot of fun.
It's fun doing other people's podcasts.
Yeah, I have
Seems
found
like
that
I have
also.
no pressure.
Yeah,
On
that's
my
the
pocket,
thing.
I'm like, God, this one's not going good the whole time.
Yeah.
Out loud.
Fucking head. God damn it.
Stupid.
Why would I say that? Yeah.
But no, this is really fun.
Yeah, this is a good time.
I appreciate it.
It's been a fun week
Thanks
in
for
the
the
city.
2.5 Miller Lights. As
Absolutely.
we
I should
did
have
it.
went and
Very
bought
good.
more.
Nope, that was honestly, it's good you didn't decide. We all have to drive. Like, you know, this isn't Fargo. You have to be sober while you drive.
Right,
here, you know?
right. That is true.
You can't.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.